Hey everyone, my name's Chris. At least it says according to the Witness Protection Program. And today I'm going to be showing you some basic hacking, some basic web hacking. And what better way to start than with cross-site scripting? Disclaimer, of course, hacking is illegal. If you're going to hack, hack yourself or hack the YouTube algorithm by pressing that like button, smashing subscribe, hitting the bell for notifications. We're going to be busy with all sorts of tutorials here and some actual live hacking. Moving forward, let's go on to our super secret, state of the art graphical hacking representation software. And here we are to our super secret, state of the art graphical hacking software. It, it it's paint. It's paint. That's what we got in the budget. Let's start off. So, with cross-site scripting, commonly depicted as cross-site scripting, it is important to remember that the server, the web host, is not the victim here. You're not directly attacking the web server. That's something that a lot of people get confused early on. What you're actually attacking is the browser. Essentially, that's what you're doing. You're attacking the browser and therefore the victim of the browser. Unlike a SQL injection where you're actually targeting the web server, in that case, the database, here you're not actually interfering much with the web server. You're actually attacking the browser because this is how it works. Let's say, right, Barbara here from San Diego, right? Barbara is trying to access her bank account, right? And her bank account is on hackmeplease.com for whatever reason. Spoiler, I don't know who actually owns hackmeplease.com, so please don't actually hack that website. And if you're the owner of hackmeplease.com and you're watching this, maybe consider changing your domain name. But anyway, Barbara then logs on to Google Chrome because Barbara is hip with it. Okay. Barbara doesn't use Internet Explorer unless it's to download Mozilla Firefox or Google Chrome. And you shouldn't use Internet Explorer either because it's completely insecure, unsecure. It's not secure and you'll just get hacked. Jeez. She goes to Chrome and she tells Chrome, hey, I need to get over to hackmeplease.com. And Chrome says, don't worry, fam, I got you. So Chrome goes over and says, hey, Mr. Web Server, could I please get your page, your page source code for hackmeplease.com, your main page? And they're like, yeah, no problem. Here it is. And they send Chrome this big ol' script here. And it's usually in HTML. And it's got, all sorts of cool stuff like, hey, this is what the headers are and the body and all sorts of stuff and maybe some JavaScript. And Chrome looks at it and says, oh, cool. And then Chrome runs this code and displays to Barbara what the website looks like, what all the websites look like to us. We have Hacker, right? And here he is. He's Mr. Hacker. He's over here being all sketchy and stuff, with his mustache, right? Because he's got a hacker mustache, maybe like some like hacker neck beard and stuff. And then he's wearing a fedora because all hackers have fedoras. Everyone knows this. And then obviously over his fedora, he's got a hoodie as well because I've seen movies and I know how this works, right? So he's got his hoodie, and it's dark, right? He's in a dark room because he doesn't like the light because he may also be a vampire or something. I don't know, whatever. So hacker dude, right? He comes in and he takes a peek at this website and he goes, ooh, that's weird. This website is kind of allowing me to introduce my own code into their HTML, into their page. He's like, ooh, I know. I'm going to introduce my malicious code here, right? This is a hacker malicious code. And I'm going to introduce it into their code. So whenever somebody accesses it, because of either he inputted it directly into their system, so it's a stored in that case, right? Stored. Yeah, that obviously says stored. It's stored because he input into here, so anyone who goes into that website accesses it and gets that malicious code ran on their browser. Or if he sends it directly to the individual as a link, and then that individual clicks on it and then sends it, which, Google then goes and runs it, which is a reflective. I know this high-end software. It's next generation stuff, guys. It's hard to get a hands on. Trust me, I had to rub some elbows with some people to to get my hands on the stuff. Whatever the case is, Chrome here will run that malicious software within the page code for the actual server. So the server is the one that has the vulnerability, right? The website, not the server, but the website has the vulnerability. But Barbara here in San Diego, just trying to access her bank account, she's the one that gets exploited. Now, what does it look like? Because I know this whole figure looks a little convoluted because of its high quality. I understand. It's like looking at the Mona Lisa. It's you just get mesmerized. It's like, where do I look at first? You know, it's, oh, look at all this beauty. I understand. I understand. So let's go and let's do some actual practical examples. Let's look at what cross-site script actually looks like, how we can do it. So let's jump over to our Kali Linux. And here we are. We are at the damn vulnerable web application. And what this is, it is a pretty damn vulnerable web application. DVWA is a really, really good hacking little program, essentially. It's a good hacking environment where you can learn how to do a lot of different things, such as brute force attacks. If you want to learn how to do request forgeries, if you want to do SQL injections, all this stuff we will be doing in future videos. So if you do like the content of this video, let me know. Hit that like button, smash the subscribe, and ring the bell for notifications so you're up to date on all the new stuff we're doing. We're going to be doing all this. We're going to be covering SQL injections, brute forcing. We're going to be covering cross-site scripting. We're going to be using other programs too, not just this. We're going to show some bug bounties, all sorts of cool stuff, and you don't want to miss out. So definitely do that. And comment down below for what you want to see next, and we'll definitely get to it. Let's look at cross-site scripting, right? First things first, when you come to a website and you want to see, hey, is there a vulnerability here? Can I hack this website? Can I cross-site script this website? Well, for starters, we are on the DVWA, so yes. But if this were a regular website, what can I do to it? Well, first thing you want to know is, how does this website run? So we got drop down, some sort of little drop down thing here, right? And then if I press select, let's open up our inspector element, which basically shows all the page source stuff from here, but in a method where we can interact with it. So let's press select. Let's see what happens. Okay. Early on, first thing you want to look at is the URL. What changed? In this case, we now see that the default here became English, right? And whenever I see an equal sign, that automatically triggers, okay, can I mess with this after the equal sign? Can I edit this, reload the page, and see if something happens? So before we jump in there, let's see where that shows on the document. So here's some basic JavaScript here, some if statements for changing the option values. You can tell it's within these script tags. So we're just gonna close that out because we don't care about it right now. Okay, so this is the English, right? And we see it's here within this. And then within this, we see it's within an option tag. Okay, so first let's see, can we fuzz this? Can we change it around? Let's put something like banana. Why not? Okay, cool. We were able to change this. So we already know that we're doing things that we're not supposed to be doing to a website. So that's the first clue that this website is susceptible to cross-site scripting. The fact that you can edit an input value here, and this isn't validating our input. So whatever input we put is just displaying out here. So if I come back down here and I look up banana, and we can do this with Burp Suite as well. And later on, if you guys are interested, let me know in the comments. I can do a tutorial on basic Burp Suite, because Burp Suite will automate a lot of this stuff for you. But for now, it's good to just do this manually to understand the basics of it. Let's look at banana, right? Okay, cool. So where English was before, it's now coming up as banana. So once again, we see this option tag. It's an open option, banana, and a close option. Let's break out of it. Let's see, how can we get our input to break out of this object right here, this option object? Okay, so if it's opening an option, we should close the option, and you close it with / option, and then boom. So this is telling it, hey, close here, this option, and then this banana should be then outside by its own. Let's see what that looks like. Boom. Okay, something changed because banana is no longer here. Let's look over here, press enter. Okay, so we have broken out. We are now within our own line. We're not within this option anymore. We're within our own value. So now let's change banana to something else. Let's do the most basic of cross-site scripting. We're going to put script tag, so we're going to run some JavaScript now. We're going to put an alert, and then let's say get hacked. Why not? And then close the script. You open the script, you want to close the script, or else everything underneath is going to try to get ran as a script. It's not going to be pretty. So the alert function is just that it pops up an alert on your screen. It's the most common proof of concept that people like to use when doing bug bounties, when doing penetration tests. They all like to use alert. I personally like to stay away from it because developers have kind of gotten used to, well, if I sanitize script or if I sanitize alert, then I don't have to worry as much about the other stuff because people go and they'll try alert and be like, oh, I guess there's no cross-site scripting here and want something else. But there's other options you can use. Confirm, prompt. We'll show all sorts of cool stuff after. But let's run this, right? So it's a basic JavaScript for an alert. And we press enter. 3, 2, 1. Boom. There's the alert. There's our message. Get hacked. That's it. That is a cross-site script. We have done it. We have proven if this were a bug bounty, we will show the individuals, or if this was a pen test or whatever it is, we will show whoever is paying us, whoever's providing the bills here, that their website is vulnerable to cross-site scripting. But that's not enough, right? Okay, sure, we can pop up an alert and we can take this, right? Copy this URL and send it over to Barbara, and Barbara clicks on it and she's gonna realize, she's gonna input it and be like, oh, there's a pop-up. That's weird. Get hacked. Oh, that's weird. But she didn't actually get hacked. It's just an annoying pop-up. Because if we just go to a different site and then come back, it's back to normal, right? Because nothing got stored on the web server, because this is a reflective cross-site, a reflective DOM. If instead of get hacked, we put something more menacing, let's insert our own script. And this is where knowing like really basic JavaScript is helpful. But there's also a really good OWASP cheat sheet, which I will include in the link below. If instead of putting an alert that just says you got hacked, which is kind of useless, how about instead we steal someone's cookies? No, not those cookies. These cookies. Check this out. Check down here. You go down to storage and you go under cookies for the website we're currently on. We see here there's a PHP session ID, and it's this long string of characters. Now, what the session ID does is that it tells the website, right? When I go from this web to here to another part of the website, this session ID gets sent with every request that we do to tell the web server, hey, this is Chris that's logged in. So he doesn't need to log in every time he wants to go to a different page. It's a single session sign on. Take this session ID, and wherever I go, I take that session ID with me and I show it, and they're like, oh, cool. Yeah, it is Chris. Cool. But what if instead of my session ID, what if I took poor Barbara's session ID and I input her session ID token in here? Well, then now I'm logged in as Barbara without ever having to know what her username or password is. I simply entered the session ID and then boom, that's it. I'm in. How do I get her session ID? I don't know what it is. It's a random string of characters. That's where the cross-site scripting. So if instead of making an alert to tell us what Barbara's session ID is, right? Because we can show this is if we show this document.cookie right here, that is JavaScript for, hey, within the document, which we showed the document, right? What is the cookie? Right? So if we ran that, boom, it shows this is the document.cookie. This is the cookie that comes up. PHP session ID, this character, and then the security low, because that's the difficulty mode we're in right now. So how do we get that from Barbara? I don't want to show it on her screen. I don't care if she knows what her cookie is. I want her cookie. So how do we do this? Well, we're going to introduce another little bit of JavaScript here. We're going to introduce an image, right? We're going to do a new image with a source But instead of sourcing that image to some cute little kitten over on Google or something, I'm going to actually send it to myself. HTTP. In this case, we're going to put, wait, forward slash localhost. And we're using localhost because we are within our virtual environment. We are within our little sandbox. But in real life, I would have this as a domain that I have somewhere, right? www.gethacked.com or something, and it would send it to there. But in this case, we're going to send it to our local host on port 1337 because that is the premier hacking port. If anyone tells you otherwise, they're wrong. That is where you want to send all your traffic to, on port 1337. And then slash, and then we'll just make up something, hacked.php, right? Some sort of PHP file with a query, and then it's going to be an output equals, and then we're going to close this off, and we're going to add the variable because now this is the string constant that we're adding. Now we're going to add the variable document dot cookie, and that's it. We're going to send this script, this URL as a link. We're going to either send it to Barbara in a social engineering phishing campaign, or we're simply going to just put it on a website and see who clicks on it. That's it. You click on it in 3, 2, stop. Almost forgot something. We're not listening on port 1337. So this is going to send it to us on port 1337. But we're not listening on it. First things first, we need to use netcat. We use netcat with the argument of LNVP for listening on port 1337. Now we're listening for any traffic on port 1337. We're set. So now we go and we send this link to somebody, this malicious link, which if this were Bank of America, if this were Amazon, if this were whatever, hackmeplease.com, it would say amazon.com slash, products or store login or wherever you found the vulnerability, blah, blah, and then it will have this script at the end. So when someone looks at it, it'll be like, oh, this is sending me to amazon.com. And it is sending you to amazon.com. That's right, Barbara. It is sending you to amazon.com. The problem is once you get to amazon.com and you log in with your amazon.com is going to assign you a session ID. And then the problem is I'm now going to have your session ID. And all I got to do is input your session ID into here. And now I'm logged in as Barbara on amazon.com. Now, of course, Amazon is most likely not going to have this vulnerability. And unless you're doing a bug bounty or doing some pen testing for them, please do not try to look for this because everything you input here gets logged into their system log and they can simply just look at it and then ban your IP address or worse. So, but here we are. We're going to send this to Barbara. We have our listener on. We're ready. She clicks it in 3, 2, 1, and then boom. That's it. She got hacked. How do I know she got hacked? Well, it's simple. I log into here. She doesn't see that she got hacked, but I log into here and there it is. Listening on 1337. What did we get? We got a connection to our loopback address because we are doing this within our local environment. And it's a GET request. And it's a GET request with a hacked PHP with an output. And then here's the thing. PHP session ID. Boom. There it is. We have the session ID. If Barbara clicked on this, it wouldn't be my session ID. It would be her session ID on here. And we take her session ID, we copy it, and we log in as her. If it's her bank account, we can wire money to ourselves. You can change her credentials if she doesn't have two-factor authentication to log her out. We have taken control of her account. That's dangerous. That is really dangerous. And just like that, we've done it. We have done it. We have taken over somebody else's account. We've hacked them. Game over. It's done. It's done. Kaput. That's it. No more. A simple vulnerability like that can damage an entire website. And it is one of the most common vulnerabilities out there. Think of how many web pages, web domains, subdomains, Amazon.com has, for example. All it takes is one website, one web page somewhere in the real far, far reaches buried in subdomains that somebody made 6 years ago and never bothered updating because no one uses it anymore. But the website, Amazon didn't bother taking it down. All it takes is that one vulnerability. And if you are doing bug bounties, if you are doing penetration testing, if you are looking for this vulnerability, you're most likely not going to find it on the front page. You're not going to find it on Amazon's splash page, right? You're not going to find it on Amazon.com, but you may find it on Amazon.com slash something, something buried far down in there because there's so many pages that need to be maintained and updated that eventually something slips through the cracks. And that is what you're looking for when you're doing pen testing. And that is what you have to report. And you have to report a proof of concept and why it is effective. And now you know a simple session ID stealing cookies, stuff like that is all it takes. You can take over someone's account. It's a huge vulnerability. Twitter has had this issue. The CIA has had this issue. All sorts of people have had this issue. So if you did enjoy the content, please let me know. Hit the like button. Comment down below. Let me know what you want to see next. We are going to do for sure next, we are going to cover the other cross-site scripts in a future video because we're already kind of over links. We are going to cover some cross-site scripts, the rest of them reflected, stored, and we're going to go through the difficulties and we're going to try it in different stuff, maybe some bug bounties. But we're going to try different difficulties to show how different levels of input validation requires more thinking out of the box. You know, the script alert's not going to work on higher difficulties, but there are ways around it. If you are looking forward to that, let me know down below and consider subscribing. We're going to do all sorts of stuff, more vulnerabilities, some Python scripting for hacking, some try hack me's, maybe some hack the boxes, all sorts of, CTFs as such. Looking forward to it. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll catch you in the next one. Later.